Forever Dog.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Kate.
And I'm Kelly Nugent, and we co-host the podcast Teen Creeps.
We talk about YA pulp fiction, but this week we took a little detour to talk about the 1996 classic, The Craft.
And we were joined by our movie expert, Oscar Montoya.
Yes. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
So fun. We covered a lot.
We talked about how Skeet Ulrich is hot now for some of us, but also maybe this is the last time we'll ever podcast together.
We talked about what we would do if we had the power of Manon within us.
We talked about the real black girl magic, which is never aging.
We talked about how the scariest part of kissing someone is if you are wearing a heavy lip and the lipstick is gone after you kiss.
We talked about Wet Pet San Pablo.
We talked about Fairuza Balk being truly a goddess.
Legendary. So if any of that appeals to you, which it does and should and also does, you should check us out this week on Teen Creeps right here on the Forever Dog Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts.
Keep it creepy.
Hi, everybody. Before we get into this episode, we have a little bit of a question for you, and that is, what's standing between you and happiness?
Is it you? Are your own feelings a roadblock preventing you from achieving your goals? Have you thought about talking to someone but are uncertain or unsure of where to start?
Well, BetterHelp.com online counseling is there for you.
BetterHelp makes it easy to connect with licensed professional counselors, caring professionals specializing in the issues that you want to talk about.
Yeah, depression, stress and anxiety, trauma, grief, self-esteem, and other issues that are kind of, stuff we're all dealing with.
Yeah, so connect with your counselor in a safe and private environment and get help on your own time and at your own pace.
You can schedule secure video and phone sessions or text your therapist. It's all included worldwide, and you can start communicating in under 24 hours.
Best of all, it's a truly affordable option, and for Las Culturistas listeners, get 10% off your first month with discount code Ding Dong.
Yeah, that's discount code Ding Dong. BetterHelp.com/Ding Dong. The promo code again is Ding Dong. Because if you've been wanting to talk, you got to get started today.
So go to BetterHelp.com/Ding Dong and simply fill out the questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love and one that you can always change.
Look, man. Where? Oh, I see. Wow. Oh, my. Bowen, look over there. Wow, is that culture? Yes.
My goodness.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. Las Culturistas. Ding dong, Las Culturistas calling.
You are on this little soapbox all of a sudden, right
Yes.
before we started recording.
I'm so happy you mentioned that.
Okay, what's going on?
I have a prediction for the world.
Okay.
I believe, and we were talking with our guest about this.
Yes.
Because she mentioned seeing a young person
Yep.
playing a certain kind of toy.
Mm-hmm.
And the toy was one of those dink, dink, dink things, like a simple toy.
Yes, colloquially they're known as dink, dink, dink things.
Of course, thank you. That's rule of culture. Number 8, it's a dink, dink, dink thing, those toys. And here's what I believe. I believe that yo-yos and the like are coming back because I think that kids are going to start rejecting technology. Now, you might ask what I have to back this up.
Mm-hmm.
None of them do Facebook.
Yes.
And I think that the Snapchat and Instagram thing is now such like a young person thing. They get tired of shit quick.
Yes.
And I think I actually think you know how when you look back at certain decades and you're like, oh, the fad of that decade was that. I almost think in a way social media will be like that for like the 2010s.
Sure.
Not that it's a fad, because I think obviously social media is here to stay and the expanse of technology is here to stay. But I think we'll look back at this time and be like, that was like the age of like Instagram and Twitter being like ruling everyone's lives.
And Gen Z is going to be the ones to like take us out of that.
I mean, there's got to be something.
I love that. I love that idea.
Did I have a smart thought?
You always do, and you don't give yourself enough credit.
You're right.
And this is the journey that we're going on in 2019. Matt.
You're always smart, though.
No, I'm frequently dumb.
That's true.
Frequently stupid.
You did.
No, don't do this.
But why not?
Okay, go. What?
We're very transparent here.
Yeah.
I feel that you have spent too much money on clothing for events.
Literally, but this is the thing that I've...
Tell us the thing.
Okay, so was out in LA, and the day that I met Sandra,
Ms. O.
I was it just set me in such an emotional high.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me such an emotional high that the next day I was like, I have to do this event. I'm gonna reward myself with a nice piece of clothing for this event that will pay for itself the more times I wear it, and other things.
Always the best responsible fiscal way to go about things, that you're going to reward yourself.
And so I did that, then saw Sooty Green that day. Before the joke read, where like all of our stuff was going to be like anonymously read by Andy and Sandra, and like it really, and then like, anyway, so I meet with Sooty and I'm like, I just spent so much money on my tux, but I don't care. I deserve it. And then she goes, yeah, me too. I spent so much money on my jumpsuit, but whatever. And I was like, okay, how much money did you spend? And she was like $200. And I was like, oh. And I was like, you can literally just add a 0 to that. And that's how much I spent on mine.
Shut up. It was literally that much.
And so
you're a psycho.
And so I felt really guilty about that. And then we do the joke read, and then my stuff, like, it's fine. It like lands. It does okay, but it doesn't like kill. And then Sandra comes over and we like talk about something, and like she has notes for the spit that we wrote together, and she's like, actually change this and this and this. I don't think this is working. And like, so to have that coupled with like me not doing well in that space, like with her, like me, like not, there was no way she could
nailing it.
Not nailing it. I was like,
right.
Damn it.
You were in a veritable fugue state.
But then like after that, I was like, it was pure self-flagellation. Like I'm a piece of shit. Why I spent so much money on this
thing. Could it be returned?
I tried returning it. They literally fucked me over because they were like, well, we had to sew on buttons, so that counts as an alteration, so you can't return it. And oh, wait a minute. And this fucking guy at the Saks Fifth Avenue, the manager at the Saks Fifth Avenue men's formal clothing section.
And of course he was a guy.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not that gendered.
No, they're bad. Keep going.
So she talks, and then then over the phone, I'm just like, I wasn't told about the button alteration, and frankly, I was very upfront about my budget, and like I just can't justify the price point, the price. And he goes, well, maybe you should. And then he goes, maybe you should have thought of that before you made the purchase. And I was like, fuck you.
Wow.
I'm not gonna get guff from someone who like.
But when they work at Saks Fifth Avenue, they can talk to you like that.
Yeah, well, whatever. He has to like swim in footies all fucking day, so his life sucks. And if you work in retail, God bless you. But he particularly sucks.
Well,
I think
this is a life lesson for you both.
It is. I talked about this in therapy today, and I've let it go. My guilt is sort of, I've sort of relinquished all that guilt, and it's not.
I'm happy that you said you did this. It humanizes you for the listeners who think of you as an untouchably intelligent being.
Mm-hmm. I'm not. I'm so stupid. So stupid, but it's fine.
I'll tell you who's not stupid at all.
The literal, the diametric opposite of stupid.
Oh God.
She truly is a genius.
A leader, a genius.
I mean,
leader in the community.
Do you remember the first time
comedy? Of course, that's the community I'm referencing.
Do you remember the first time you saw her perform?
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those fucking obnoxious. They're not obnoxious, but I would wait in line for ASCAT.
Some of them are.
Some of them are. Well, whatever. The ASCAT line culture.
We were obnoxious when we were 19, sitting out there waiting for the
No one's the best version of themselves in the ASCAT line.
Famous thing to say.
Rule of culture number 27. No one is the best version of themselves in the ASCAT line. But saw her doing ASCAT, then got into Stepfathers. I was like, this person is...
This is kind of kooky, but I didn't see ASCAT until years and years and years
That's
later.
fine.
Actually, my first ASCAT show was when Sooty Green did monologues.
Oh, fun!
That is actually the first time I ever went, and that was years later.
Yeah.
But I was like a weekend team, like,
well,
bitch.
Of course.
Like, I used to go see Stepbrothers all the time. I would always go see Law Firm. Like, I remember, I realized the first time I saw Brian Foss perform was like 10 years ago.
In Law Firm?
Yeah, like, whatever.
Or Law Firm. Can we fact check this with our guest? No.
I don't know if Law Firm's been around on the weekend for 10 years.
Whatever
but
team
it was
he was on, I know. I remember seeing him like years and years ago, and my favorite team was whatever team. Oh, well, that was when I got obsessed with Fran.
Of course.
I was obsessed with Frank Gillespie.
Yes.
You have to be.
You have
Still
to.
to this day.
Still to this day.
But anyway, we're not talking about her.
But you can see her on TV if you don't have access to a New York improvisational sphere. So you can see her on TV. She's in the upcoming show, The Other Two.
Which we've been chatting about. We actually are doing weeks of Other Two programming.
And she, in her episode, fits
I
into
love that app.
into that block. I love that app so much. And she is in the upcoming season making a return appearance. They don't do this for all the characters.
Not everybody.
In high maintenance, she's doing a reprise, baby, and that is huge. I thought your episode was so fucking funny. We'll talk about this in season 2. Please welcome
Shannon O'Neill.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, I'm so bad at taking compliments, but thank you so much.
Well, the thing is, like, when you have like a storied, like, the thing is, like, I get that because it's like. It's a lot, like especially when you've done as much as you. It's like, and you've done a lot.
I've been around a while,
and you've done the work.
You've fucking done the work. Yeah. So you know what? You sit there and you fucking take this. I demand it.
I demand
I'll
it.
take it. Thank you.
Whenever I have someone that I really respect in, like when Tammy Saker came in, we were just like looking at each other, like screaming all the praise that we felt for her. But
and it's all deserved.
It's deserved.
It wouldn't be authentic or genuine if it weren't true.
Can I slam the guest that was here before?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they're really deaf, and I need to turn my headphones down a little bit.
Wait. Okay.
Because these are really loud. So apparently, Brandon Scott Jones is very deaf.
He's very deaf.
Yeah.
How's that?
Is this better? Oh, that I turned my.
We'll talk
down.
at your. This
is me.
That's you.
This is me, and you know
A little
this is
louder.
me.
A little louder.
A little
You know
louder.
I'm loud, but I feel like you respond to my
That's
volume.
good. That's
This is good. This is
That's
good.
good.
Great.
No, I'll try hers on, and I'll be like,
Wait, now you're
decibel.
so loud, Matt.
Sorry, bitch.
No, you're good.
No,
This is who I am.
But that just means I have to turn
I'm a
myself
very
down.
loud person.
We share
I
that.
appreciate people that project.
Talk shit about Brandon Scott Jones.
Go.
Well, he's deaf.
Yeah.
Sweaty. No, I can't talk shit about him.
I like
He's
his
literally
sweaters.
the best.
I love him so much.
I walked in before and I saw him and I was like, oh, it's a good day.
He's someone. This sounds gross.
He's joy. He's joy.
He's someone who, when
It's gonna sound gross.
when he sweats,
Oh,
I don't mind.
Oh, I was just kidding about that.
He's a sweaty guy. I think he'd cop to that. But when he sweats, I'm like, it's a good look on him.
Well, he sticks to the outfit. Like he'll be on stage and have a hoodie and a t-shirt, but he won't take the hoodie off and he'll be sweating. So he like sticks to the outfit.
Yeah, that's a thing I think with
Yeah.
us gays is when we pick out a look, it's like you stick to the look.
gotta
Like
stick.
especially in a certain space is going to be hot. Was the Chelsea space hot on stage? I'm not remembering.
He's usually cold.
No, Chelsea was pretty good, unless the AC was on the fritz, which
Yeah.
is a common thing with all UCB spaces. But the Chelsea one didn't go on the fritz too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, or during Del Close Marathon, it'd be if there's too many bodies.
Right.
Exactly.
But normally, no.
if you think
Temperate.
if you think about all the air conditioning in the world,
Oh, bitch.
terrifying.
It's a lot.
It's truly, the scale could keep you up at night.
Yeah, but
I didn't grow up with air conditioning.
really.
Yeah,
Where'd you
we
grow up?
outside of Philly and Pennsylvania, but we just didn't have it because it was like we couldn't afford it. And
Uh-huh.
so actually my mom, we had an air conditioner that she gave to the neighbors. So the Neps had our air conditioner.
The
But I
naps.
just, the Neps, they're a nice older couple who were very sweet to me
They
all the
sound
time.
nice.
They were nice. They took care of me when like my mom was like at work and stuff. If I needed something, if I got like bit by a carpenter bee and I was heard screaming in my backyard,
Carpenter bee.
Mr. Nep came running over being like, what's happening?
over here?
So I just learned to sleep and live without it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can do it.
So
As a young person.
it was a fan heavy house.
I had like it was a split level, so our rec room was always cool because there was like shade on it.
And
so
heat
we'd hang
rises.
out. Yeah, heat rises. So
Famously.
hung out a lot in the rec room. If I
Yeah.
had to, I'd sleep down there. But a fan, I love sleeping with a fan on my face.
Yeah, I enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
But any resentment towards your mother for giving the air conditioner to the Neps?
No, because it was
Good.
a kind gesture. Because they were an older couple and
They
they were very
needed it.
and we didn't need it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
would-
My mom still doesn't have one. She's like 70. She just learns to live.
She does. But don't you think she'd enjoy one?
No.
Now it's just like a force of, this is the way I live my life. Air
Yeah.
conditionerless.
Yeah. And I don't think our house can handle the house can handle it.
I see.
The
Oh.
outlets, and the amount of
Sure.
power an AC gives. And
Yeah.
she would always be thinking about that.
Yeah.
that wattage, baby.
Or or like the air conditioner pulling the window out.
Yeah,
she was
right.
she would just be like, the window, the house needs
Every
some help.
time I put in my air conditioner, it is your risk that I'll kill someone. I'm not good at that.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Like when you put in the air conditioning into your thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Like that's not a thing I should be doing.
Mine's screwed in.
I see.
Mine's permanent in my
Great.
apartment.
Good for you.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want. And I feel like, with this Green New Deal that AOC is proposing, we're all about it right now, but come the summer, we're not going to want to be giving up our
air conditioner.
Yeah.
That is intentional. AOC knows that we're gonna want to be on board for a Green New Deal in the winter.
That's what
Yep.
her whole game is.
I never trusted her. Never trusted her. What a lying.
You always request when the guard is down.
Exactly. Hello.
That's how you get through this world.
That's how you get through this world.
Now, okay, tell us more about the Neps, to be honest, because I want you to talk about your upbringing in
Sure.
Pennsylvania with the Neps as the reference point.
Okay.
Okay.
So the Neps lived across the street.
Got it.
And they were an older couple. They had kids that were out of the house.
Right.
And like their kids would come over and their grandkids. But they always, my mom was like a single mom. So it was like me and my mom. I have two brothers, but some reason they lived with my dad. That's something I can unpack somewhere else.
Because the men go with the men.
Yeah.
And the girls, they go with the girls and the Neps.
In the end, probably okay. But
Yeah,
so yeah, the Neps would always like, I was like a latchkey kid, so I always knew if I had an issue, I could go to the Neps.
Right.
They were very kind. There was I love basketball, and they knew I love basketball. Like I saved up one summer so I could buy the basketball hoop for my driveway. And there was this. They had a VHS to VHS recorder. So if you went to the Blockbuster or what was it? It wasn't Blockbuster yet, but it was
Video or no?
it was a Baskin Robbins that had a video store next to it.
Wow.
And that's where we would go to get our movies.
But you would duplicate them.
This was pre. So if there's a movie that I loved, then my mom would be like, she would take it to the Neps and be like, I got to return this by Thursday. Can you make a copy for Shannon? And they would do it. And there was this one movie I really loved called it was I'm gonna get the name wrong, but it's like Pistol Pete, the Pete Maravich story.
Okay.
It was like a kind of like a Hallmark original type of movie, but it's like this awesome story about Pete Maravich, who's a basketball player, and like him as a little kid and like scrawny little, working his way, becomes an NBA player in the end. But they made a copy of it for me, and it's like I always remember that because I was like, I loved watching it, and I got to watch it all the time because of the Neps.
Because
That
the
little Nep
Neps.
gesture.
Yeah.
You never forget those good neighbors.
No, they're great.
There was a woman who lived next door. Her name was Mary Ann, and my mom did hair in the house. So she would come over I used to like sit there and watch my mom do these women's hair, and so I would pick up the way that suburban women talk to each other. So whenever they'd go to tip my mom, and she was like a really good friend of theirs, my mom would go, no, you don't have to do that. Stop. Don't do that. Stop it. Get out of here. No. And Marianne one time said to me, I want you to come over and I want you to pick out a video game for Nintendo and you can pick any one you want.
Oh.
And I literally said, no, stop. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. Stop it. That's too much. And she got mad at me like I was being disrespectful. And my mom was literally watching it like a car wreck. And she was like, no, he's trying to do the thing where like you're humble. He's trying to do that thing. And the woman didn't get it. She was like, what's wrong with my video games? it all of a sudden became this like Long Island like thing. But she was a nice lady
What's
overall.
wrong with
She's like,
my
what's wrong with my
video?
house? You want to come over to my house? She thought like when she left, my mom was like, that Marianne, she's crazy. We're not going over to her house. But it was just me being like trying to be like a 40-year-old woman. Like, stop it.
Wow.
And Neps were good.
warmth.
I think they both eventually, well, they did. Once they both passed away, it really affected my mom because like that was like who she could go to.
Sure.
Right.
If like another neighbor was like upsetting her and like she could, she was having like, she had this like, like this couple. So now my mom doesn't really have that.
Allies on the street.
She does. She has the Sharavos a couple houses down
Okay.
that they kind of like will look out for my mom for like certain things. And like Mr. Sharavo
That's a great last name.
mows my mom's lawn. Will give her a discount when he knows that she doesn't have the money that month. There's like some good souls, but there's some nasties.
But I mean,
There's some nasties now, and I'm not
They're
there.
out
And I'm not there to
nasties.
help.
No,
Damn.
listen, you're not there to fucking be the nep.
No, I wish I could.
Were there a lot of kids on the street when you were growing up?
Yeah, one of my best friends, Holly Ann, she grew up on my street, and that's when we had like school closed for snowstorms.
Love that.
Go to Holly Ann's. She had a Nintendo. We'd play Nintendo. There was one bad storm that was like 2 weeks that we had off because it was so bad, and it was
Wow.
yeah, it was like a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like kind of came after like a winter break. So it was like a winter break into. So it was like this like I remember missing like basketball games were canceled, and that pissed me off. I love basketball.
You won't see like that's like a real love for basketball though, because I feel like even though I loved sports when I was a kid, like if a game got canceled, I'd be like, that's cool. We can play at home. No, you wanted to play.
No, because they don't really reschedule those because like sometimes you lose out on it. But yeah, there was Holly Ann and. There was a bunch, and then Cody Rosenberg was also my age.
You gotta have a Cody on the street.
Gotta
Yeah.
have a Cody.
Gotta have
gotta have a Rosenberg.
Cody Rosenberg, Mike Pizzi was like a couple years younger.
Mike
we
Pizzi.
would hung out. We got Mike Pizzi and I got in trouble because remember, did you ever like, make you and your friends make each other faint?
Okay, I mean, like we would try to, but we didn't know how. But I know what you're saying.
That was
Stupid
like
shit like that
that
happened
was
all the
like
time.
that was like a trend.
Yeah. Well, you know what we did? We did that thing where it was like you'd dead arm each other.
Yeah.
Oh, dead
until-
leg.
Like punching each other in the arm until like you couldn't move it.
Or punch dead leg where you know the right spot to punch when immediately goes dead.
Yeah.
No, we would make each other faint, and so where you bend over. Don't do this at home.
No.
Will I get in trouble? I don't care.
Lots
Yeah,
of reasons,
do it,
listeners. I know you're so stupid, but don't do this at home.
Do not do this at
this.
home. You bend over at the waist and you take like deep, heavy breaths while you're bent over. And then as soon as you stand up against a wall and you take two hands against your neck,
I have done this.
and
this.
then
No.
it's and then you pass out. But you have the most vivid dreams.
Yeah.
Like you're only out for like 10
Really?
seconds, 15 seconds, but you feel like you would feel like you've been dreaming for forever, and they're so vivid and insane that I was like, I kind of got addicted to those crazy
rush.
those dreams that I would
Yeah.
have.
It was a mini
'Cause then you-
trip.
Yeah. Because then you'd like come out of it, and your friends would either be like freaked out because they're like you were shaking and we couldn't wake you up for like 10 seconds. But Mike Pizzi and I did it, and he instigated it, and I was like, sure, let's do it.
Oh my God.
And then somehow got back to his mom, and his mom then called my mom, and my mom was mad. She's like, why did you make Mike Pizzi faint? And I was like, no, Mike Izzy. Sorry, I keep saying Pizzi. It's not. It's Mike Izzy.
Oh, man.
Canonically, it's Pizzy.
It's Pizzi.
Just
I
For
mean,
us,
yeah.
it's got to be Pizzi.
Yeah, Mike Izzy. I was like, that sounds weird. And then I was like, I was like, he instigated it. I was like, I did it, but it's like we both are equally at fault.
No, yeah. There's
Oh,
no reason
no.
why you should have taken the fall there.
Where is he now? Do we know what he's doing?
I do not know. His parents still live in the neighborhood in the same house.
Got it.
Are you still
I
friends
don't-
with Holly Ann?
Like text every now and then. We've kind of lost touch, but it's still like we can text each other.
I don't think I have any friends from like elementary school.
I have one listener from middle school.
Wow.
Claire Canary. And by the way, back in the day, she was like hanging with the cool kids, and I was like, okay, she's untouchable. I can't really like. There's no like social thing here, but like every now and then she'll be like, I just listened to the episode, so funny. I'm like, you were like,
That's great.
which is just sweet in the end.
Yeah, they're very
I
nice.
don't know, very nice.
I have a question for you guys.
Go. He's smacking his lips.
My best friend from when I was in kindergarten and first grade. His first name was Billy. I will not say his full name because that would be
Uh-oh.
uncouth.
Billy.
We discovered at the same time Celine Dion and Mariah Carey
Yep.
and all the pop divas.
Is he
and
gay?
what we would do is we would sit in his room and just listen and listen and listen. And you know who he was obsessed with as a kindergartner?
Shania.
No, I was obsessed with Shania.
Yeah, no, who?
He didn't like Shania actually, and it was a source of contention. He loved Robin. Oh, who was at the time Show Me Love.
No, yes.
Show Me Life.
My number one favorite song growing up.
Yeah. So
Wait, Robin?
Robin, Dancing on My Own Robin, was a pop star in
When
95.
you were in kindergarten.
Yes. Yeah. Well, like in like 90,
95.
97,
In 95.
97, 98 was Show Me Love.
Really?
We could debate.
I will look it up. I guarantee it was not that long ago.
All right.
Not
Did
95.
not know
All
that.
I'm knowing is, all I can tell you is that in 1995, 1996, when I was this age, in first grade, let's say, like, this kid was obsessed with Robin, and I never got Robin. But what I'm saying is,
Oh, you're right. 95. Sorry.
my question is, and then after that, he kind of became like sort of like
He
like a
masculinized.
swaggy kind of like white kid who like a little Eminem kid, fucking the worst. Like, and he kind of masculinized and like started to wear like the flat brim hats and like started to get very like, you know.
This is
like,
in first grade. He started doing this.
This was like he started to do this in like 4th, 5th grade, as we kind of separated, and then I moved
Yeah, that
away.
is the age.
But I lost touch with him, and I want to know: do you think the fact that at 5 years old, your instinct is to worship Celine Dion, that says something about you and your essence? Is Billy gay?
This is tough.
And is he my soulmate?
I'm not the right person to ask.
Why aren't you the right person to ask?
Because when I was 5 and worshiping Celine Dion, I was in Montreal, where that was like you had to do.
You're
that.
right. You don't know.
You had to do that if you were.
Where's this that
Long Island,
Long
New York.
Island.
it feels like he started to rebel from his instincts.
Yes, right?
Whether it's I don't think I wouldn't be able to attach sexuality to it, but
Right.
I think at least maybe there was he started to feel ashamed of what he really enjoyed.
And that's absolutely true.
so
because-
he could still be a straight guy, but there's some strain
Some
where he
repression.
doesn't, some repression of like, oh, I can't like this because that means
Yep.
I'm something else.
Yeah.
I
Where
remember
it doesn't.
our 2nd grade teacher literally shamed us because we both knew all the words to Tell Him by Celine Dion and Barbara Streisand. And we wrote it down.
Shamed you?
She was like, all right, so and here's the thing. Instead of, okay, this is fucked up.
Go.
This is a deep revealing thing about myself. So we would have like journal time. And instead of writing my own stories, I would write down all the lyrics to like Mariah Carey songs. And Mariah Carey songs back in 95, 96, like at that time, they were actually, the vocabulary she used like was actually kind of crazy.
Well, that's my favorite thing. She still uses crazy like words.
Yeah, like she used words like incessantly and nonchalantly and like all these things. And I knew these words from Mariah Carey. And so I would literally just verbatim write the lyrics to her songs because I loved them so much. And my teacher one day,
said you're not at this level
no, my
grammatically.
2nd grade teacher was like, I have to read this one thing that Matt wrote. And she's like, she read the words to Tell Him out loud. And Billy and I had written it together.
To the whole
And I
class?
was like, no. And it was fully like a love song about a man.
To the whole class.
To the whole class, she did this, and it was just so embarrassing. And then I remember
Oh
I
my
moved to a different school, not
God.
because of that, but I moved to my next school that I went to. I did the same thing in 3rd grade, and my teacher, Miss Patchouli, like found
Patchouli?
Miss Patchouli.
That's so
Great.
fun.
She found the lyrics to like Emotions by Mariah Carey, like in my book, and she would write notes back, and she was like, Matthew, this story is so beautiful. She obviously wasn't like a Mariah fan.
Okay, were you
But
just?
she was like, "This is so beautiful. You're so advanced. Like the
Incessantly?
feeling in this poem is incredible." And it was like literally like Mariah at 24, like her height of her pop stardom.
Can you look back at the first experience where you say you
Yeah.
felt like you were shamed?
Yes.
Can you replay that in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
And was it her? It was. This might feel like a leading question. Like, it was her shaming you, or was it her like surprised by it, but like you were embarrassed, so you felt like it was shame, but maybe she was celebrating you? Like, how can you look back at
It was
it?
definitely her being like, let me read this out loud because I think it's funny. I think she thought it was funny, and I remember everyone was laughing, and we were laughing too. And I was like, "It's a song, it's a song," and she was like, "Okay, whatever." But I remember,
But like funny to her, but funny to kindergartners is going to be like different.
And I feel
Yeah.
like looking back, should she have done that? No.
No.
But
Shaming of teachers is
that
tough.
kid, oh yeah,
You don't forget.
no, and
No.
they do it often. I remember I had a teacher who, after the Columbine shooting, she was very affected by the Columbine shooting, and she made us stand in a circle and hold hands and sing the song "Hands" by Jewel.
My hands are small, I know, but they're not
The whole thing.
yours. Yeah.
We had to do this.
That's beautiful.
And then weeks
While
later,
wearing trench coats?
when we were bad at recess.
You're bad at recess.
we were
Not bad at recess, but bad behavior during
during
recess.
recess.
We didn't do recess right. No, we were badly behaved at recess, and the lunch monitor that would like help us like play or whatever, like facilitate us like having recess, came back and said, "This is what's happening." And then my teacher came back, and only looking back now do I realize how fucked up from Columbine she must have been, because she was like, "This is exactly how Columbine happened."
But what was your behavior?
I think we were
Like bullying each other?
I think we were like not listening to one person who wanted to play something different. I mean, what could it possibly have been? It couldn't have been crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But she literally, and then now looking back, I'm like, she was obviously a very scared teacher.
She was just
who was shaken and emotional about the fact that this happened in a school and wanted so badly us to like be part of the change. And she was just, I think,
she was
emotionally distraught.
Yeah, she was very jarred and still feeling aftershocks. But my question is, going back to the Mariah lyrics, would you just write the lyrics down bare bones? You wouldn't even
not an original creative thought on the page.
no filler, like it wasn't like other characters' dialogue. Then so you wrote the lyrics down and then you that passed as a story to your teacher
because she didn't know what it was from, and it was
Right.
maybe she just wasn't a Mariah fan.
So she then thought it was. So when she read it, she thought it was a story. The first one, the first teacher.
The second teacher.
Oh, the second teacher.
The first teacher, I think she didn't look into it as much. She kind of just shamed me and moved on.
But
the third grade teacher I had was like fully praising me for my
there's no narrative arc to you just writing down like
nothing.
It's just
in the
a
second
poem.
person.
It was
like,
poems.
It's prose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
She just
I
thought
see.
they were like these incredible poems that I was writing.
and you wrote like, you've got me feeling emotions deeper than I've ever dreamed of.
You've got me feeling emotions higher than
the heavens above.
than the heavens above.
Higher.
You know the way to make me lose control.
As a third
When
grader.
you're looking into my eyes, you make me feel so ooh, 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 ooh. If you really think about it, it's fucked up.
That's a nail. That's a great sketch.
How do I? Yeah.
That's a perfect sketch.
That is great.
Yeah.
But and this is the thing. This is the thing about Mariah that I think people haven't fully zoned in on, like zoomed in on, is the reason she has such a funny vocabulary in her lyrics is because she's an adverb queen. Like even in Get the Fuck Out, she goes, "My prince was so unjustly handsome."
Yeah.
Incessantly.
She's always using vocab.
Yeah. Inevitably. Like she loves to end on ly words. So she's an adverb queen.
Yeah.
That's but specifically I want to be the first person to say on recorded media that Mariah Carey is an adverb queen. Yeah.
Also, like the weird words, like in like Always Be My Baby, where she's like, "You'll always be a part of me.
Indefinitely.
I'm part of you indefinitely." It's like indefinitely,
but it works.
it works well.
It works well. Okay, Shannon, I think this is the time in the show where we ask you the question we ask all of our guests.
Because clearly now we're talking of our culture is Mariah.
What your
Yes,
culture
yes.
is. Yeah. And that's not my culture.
if it's
No.
if it's Pistol
But I like
Pete,
Mariah, but I was like, oh, that's not the music I listened to when I was growing up. But I didn't listen to a lot of music.
that's fine. It could be the Pistol Pete thing. But what was the culture that made you say culture was for me? The culture that made you move into a cultural direction.
It would be Letterman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Like
I remember you saying
Carson,
this.
like Carson Letterman.
Yeah.
I used to.
But Letterman won out.
Letterman, yeah, just definitely because he was. I liked watching Carson because he was a good interviewer, and like I would love specific guests that he would have on, like Joan Embry, who's like a zoologist from the San Diego Zoo. I love like certain segments. But I was always allowed to stay up on Fridays to watch Letterman. When we finally got a VCR, I could record it, but I would sneak down because I knew my mom would watch Carson, and I should have been in bed, so I'd sneak down and sit on the top of the stairs because she would fall asleep on the couch. So Carson would end, and then Letterman would start, so I could sit there and watch Letterman as long until like she would start to stir, and then I would gently rise and go back to bed.
Yeah.
So that was like a thing where I would like sneak my my Letterman my Letterman viewing, because that's very much like, I think like my comedic kind of like way of thinking is like being sarcastic. I like how he doesn't pull punches and like his little man on the street stuff. It was all just like, I was like, what is this? This is awesome.
Well, Letterman like Carson like established like formative norms, I guess, now in late night, but like Letterman like was someone who like led with tone, right? Like I feel like people wanted to sound like him. Like it affected other people's comedic voices in this way that like you
He
can't
took
really say
like it was
for
like
Carson.
chances.
Yeah,
Letterman very much like just took like big swings
Yeah.
to see if something would work.
Totally.
And I think Carson was just like set and nailing it, but didn't need to like reinvent anything, where Carson was like kind of, I mean, Letterman was like, oh, this is him fighting to stay alive.
Yes,
Because he already had one show canceled on him. So
right.
I almost feel like Colbert is the worthy successor to Letterman, because Colbert doesn't ever like, he never would sacrifice like his sense of humor or his intelligence in the same way as Letterman. Whereas like with Fallon now, and it's kind of like in the same vein as Carson and Jay Leno before him, where it leads with the fun and it's about like being a late night show, whereas like Letterman is like David Letterman. It's like it's the tone is set and it's like his show, whereas like it's the Tonight Show, whereas that was Letterman.
It's Letterman.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's
It was-
Colbert.
Now
You know
it's
what I
Colbert.
mean?
Yeah.
But even with late night, it was like late night with David.
Because I
Letterman.
watched Late Night, which
Yeah.
was maybe before your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Late Night was after Carson. So I was watching
Right.
that until 92. And
Conan
then
took over.
92, he moved to
Okay.
CBS.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was 12:30 slot until I believe 92. I might be a little off. And then he moved to 11:30 at CBS.
And Conan felt like the right successor to Letterman
Yes.
on late night.
Yes.
To me.
I do love Conan.
But Letterman, I thought, I will give credit to Letterman as being a great interviewer as well.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Especially even towards the end, I think. I don't know. Well, like just
He
this-
never was worried about the guest's feelings.
No.
And
Well,
sometimes-
the Paris interview.
Paris interview. Or there's one before that shit.
That's just
Farrah
me-
Fawcett.
Farrah
You ever watched the
Fawcett.
Farrah
No, I've
Fawcett
never
interview?
seen that
what
one.
went down with that?
That is legendary.
Okay, can you give like a play-by-play?
I can't.
That's
But
fair.
it's just someone who is clearly
Uncomfortable.
on something.
Oh
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
under the influence
Uh-huh.
and out there doing an interview, and it was bananas.
Wow.
It's legendary. And then there's
Wow.
the Drew Barrymore interview where she
I
flashed
love
him.
Yes,
that.
yes.
There's like, I mean, Late Night has all these like, is it like the, oh gosh, is it not the, he threw water at Letterman. Why is it escaping my head?
Wait, I remember this.
Crispin Glover.
Oh,
Yes,
Crispin
yes,
Glover.
yes,
I mean,
yes,
he's like
yes.
banned. He was like banned after that, right?
Right.
And Letterman famously had a thing with Oprah for years.
The Oprah thing is famous, and then the share thing too.
Oh, Cher. Oh yeah, he basically which I love about Letterman because he can like
Be abrasive.
admit to fault.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I think is very important for any human to be like, oh yeah, I was abrasive. I admit, and then it's like, and then him and Oprah now can like do interviews together.
Right.
Yeah.
and it was
It's
like,
fun.
yeah, and Cher.
Cher
the
called
Cher one.
him an asshole to his face.
Oh, like on
Yeah.
on air.
Which makes you like
Yeah.
both of them.
yeah,
I love it.
who has done that to Jimmy Fallon?
No one.
No, who's so it's like, which is fine. That's like that tone, but like it's like, yeah, Letterman is just like, what is wrong with you? Like, I will call it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very like eye roll to say, but like I kind of you miss that in late night.
You don't see people taking risks anymore. Like honestly, nowadays I feel like celebrities, if there's gonna be anything questionable going on during an interview, they just don't go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or because I think now with social media,
And it being able to like be on the internet the next day and you can watch and
Yes.
watch and watch.
you can control your own narrative all the time.
Yeah,
Like
and that's
I
a
don't
bummer.
think Trump will ever do another interview. Like
Not that we want him
like,
to,
not
but-
right, but like there would be a time, there would be a point in time where we would demand that. Whereas like to hear answers or whatever. But now it's just like, because any celebrity,
like-
you see it with Kanye West, you know what I mean? He's out there controlling his own narrative or attempting to all the time. So they don't feel the need to like need these shows anymore. So you don't see those kinds of iconic interactions.
Yeah, the only way you get it is like Eric Andre, where he like just
Oh,
like
yeah.
has to like punk them a little bit
Right.
to like make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
but it's really not about them. It's about like having rats pop out and being like,
Yeah.
so you're seeing them actually react to something that's not,
Right.
they're it's
Right.
like not in their control.
Totally.
Which is like, yeah, it's so missing.
But now it's just like, okay, well, like the way that there's like segment producers for each interview that like are like, do you have a funny story to tell? Oh, we'll tell that. Oh, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That'll go great. So Seth will lead you with, I'm not saying this is an example, but it's like Seth will just ask you this and then that'll be your cue to go into this. It's like, it feels choreographed in a way that like could be loosened a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We need to loosen it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Who's the best now?
that's hard to say.
They're also different. I
I mean,
love
I think
Colbert.
Seth Meyers does do a good interview.
Yeah. I
love
like
Seth.
he's really great at interviewing people.
Yeah.
And I think pulling fun stuff out of them. But I also don't watch enough to have an opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Seth, the last thing I can remember is Kellyanne being on Seth.
Conway?
Yeah.
Conway, and that was great. But then the last person who like truly like would like have no problem embarrassing their guest if they deserved it was like Jon Stewart. And even that is like, I don't know. That's also like not on the same level as Letterman, where it
Yeah.
was like,
I can get I don't get it the way you want it, but like you can still get a little bit if you watch Thursday night basketball on with like Barkley and Shaq, because they bust each other all the time.
Yeah.
So you can get that thing of like, oh, they're all being vulnerable and allowing each other to like shit on each other.
That's great.
And bust each other's balls, which is like, you just want that. But you have to get people that are okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I know.
So it's like podcasts now. Like you get it. Like you two bust each other's balls
Sure,
and it's
sure.
fun and you're vulnerable and that's what's fun. But like to always have guests be able to do that.
It's tough.
It's tough.
The ones that you want to,
Yeah.
you know?
My dad pointed out, like, this was like 2 years ago. I was at home and I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and he was like watching it, and I was like, oh God, what is he going to say about this? And it went to a commercial, and he was like, they're so honest with each other. And I was like, that's such an interesting pull.
It's an interesting
to
pull.
take from it. Like, he didn't have anything to say about like how they were acting or like what they were wearing or anything. He was like, I'm impressed by how direct they are with each other. And it is that thing of like, like with drag, obviously, it's just like they say whatever the fuck they want.
Right,
but
right.
true honesty now is sort of, and true dialogue and forcing each other to be honest. I think it's why people are obsessed with all these like reality shows, is because like you don't actually see real dialogue especially on news programs. Like, you know what I mean? I try to watch a lot of them now, and it's like, if they're not screaming at each other, it's a bunch of people that think the same thing. And so,
or it's something that would never make it to like the next day's like clip on Twitter where everyone sees it and everyone's like, oh, let's form an opinion around this.
And you get those tiny moments, and those moments do go viral. Like when Lauren Duca threw it back at Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like so fierce.
Yeah.
But I think it stuck out because we're like,
but that's not late night. That's not like
right now. It's not late night.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway.
No. And that just puts people, they're like, now that Lauren Duca did that, now everyone's going to be like, we have to change how we
Right.
have, book our guests.
Yeah. Then they're just afraid of it happening again.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you can do is look stupid.
That sucks.
It sucks.
I do just want to say the Paris Hilton interview
that
with
was
Letterman. Genius. Just like by the middle, she like loses her patience. She's like, I don't want to talk about this. Being in prison anymore. And he goes, okay. And then someone screams from the audience, I love you, Paris. And then she goes, love you too. And then Letterman goes, someone you met in prison. And the entire audience explodes.
Yeah.
Like, like so
He's
funny.
so good.
So
So
good.
funny.
You have to be so like, because even in like, whenever we interview someone that's like, that makes us a little nervous, like you really do have to be so good at what you do to stay the course and something like that, especially with something like Paris Hilton at the time was huge. So like anyone else I feel like would have just backed off or been like, I can't ask her that, it's embarrassing. Like,
But he was not ever in a position where he, like, I don't want to say cared enough, but it was just like, he is the king of late night. It's like, if she never wants to come back, it's okay. And it's like, what do you want,
We'll have many other guests.
And it's like, that's where like Leno took over control when he got Hugh Grant after his infamous blowjob.
Yes.
Oh.
And so like he booked Hugh Grant, and that was like, he had to ask that question.
Yeah.
So Jay Leno like has Hugh Grant after he got caught getting a BJ, and then it was like asking him it. And it's like, that's where like there was like this kind of like, it was like
Inversion.
honesty and like really asking guests the right thing is like what was making people
Damn.
the king of late night. And
I think that probably still applies though. If someone were to just do that and break the seal on
there's
that,
too much though. There's too much TV for.
Sure.
I mean, I don't really even know who's running in the ratings.
Yeah.
I believe that Colbert,
I think it's
is
Colbert.
still,
A little bit.
is still ahead. I mean,
Yeah, but I can't imagine
the
they're
Trump moment was tough for Fallon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've read.
Oh, we've read the trades. Honey, we get the trades. And honestly, you know who's like, we talk about this all the time, and we've been talking about this since the beginning of this podcast, but Ellen. I mean, like, I can't with Ellen. Like,
You can't watch?
I can't with Ellen because there's been too many times where it's just been like, no, this guy's just a douchebag. And that might just be it. And I think she sometimes feels bad for people that are as famous as her.
Yeah.
And I think she genuinely went through one of the hardest things that a celebrity has gone through over the past 30 years. And I do respect and admire her strength through that. But I don't necessarily think all the same rules applies to the people that she gives apology platforms.
No, they've have they earned that platform?
No, and the thing is, like with Kevin Hart, he did come out. This is actually like breaking news as of like today or yesterday, but he did come out with the like quote unquote heartfelt apology, a real apology to the LGBT community.
This is post Ellen interview.
This is post Ellen interview, which was not an apology. It was just him saying he had when he really had never really extended a real apology.
Didn't address how he just gaslit the timeline,
right?
Everyone,
And so it's just like, I don't know. Like, I think like with her, she's like a whole other thing because it's like it pretends to be this fun show. Like, and Ellen, I think, is at her best when she's just leading with the goofiness and dancing around and like being Ellen, positive Ellen. And then there's these moments where it's like, no, actually, you can't just erase the way that people feel about this thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
or just speak on other people's behalf.
Do you ever think about yourselves of should you get to that level?
Mm-hmm.
Like worry about the disconnect of like, because you watch, like I watch like, you know, like comedians in cars.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, Seinfeld is disconnected
He's
from
a rich man
society.
Yeah.
He's disconnected. Yeah. He doesn't, there's no worries. Like, I mean, he probably has worries. I can't say that. There's probably shit going on in his life that we don't know about, but there is this disconnect. And it's like, Ellen has this disconnect.
Right.
And I mean, I grew up watching her show, loving it. And then it's like, oh yeah, like, did you watch her new special?
Didn't watch her new special, but
It's great.
I haven't seen it yet. I heard it's amazing.
It is great because it's almost her being like admitting to
exactly
She
this
has
like disconnect that she has.
self-awareness,
Yes, there is like this self-awareness, which I was like, oh, this is really funny and good.
I thought you were going to say, do you ever think about like if you ever get on Ellen and she's like, so you talk shit about me on your podcast? And I was like, I think about that a lot.
We're never allowed. We will never go on.
I'll never be booked on Ellen.
It's fine.
Sorry.
I think you can just admit it though.
Yeah, I'll be like,
It's
honestly,
like a friendship thing. If like a friend's mad at you and you're just like, hey, and it's like, yeah, this is how I was feeling because like I was here, you're here, so like.
Yeah. Okay. We just we bring that approach. We bring that emotional connection into Ellen, into the show.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's just pretend we're friends and let's just be upfront with what we've said about you in the past.
I would think in my heart that I would have no problem telling her. Yeah, I did think it was like if we were behind the stage and she would ever like be like, you said this thing, or if anyone were to be like this, I feel like I would be able to say, I did think it was fucked up that you had Matthew Fox on after a woman accused him of punching her. I did think it was a little fucked up.
There you go.
And that's you're allowed.
And then it's like, how do you respond to that?
Yeah.
Be like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, no, it is weird.
Yeah.
Maybe you get to hear her side of it, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
didn't know that. So glad I got famous so you could tell me.
Right. Hey, it's Bowen. I just gotta say, the only straight culture I like these days is teeth, okay? Straight teeth are the only straight culture I want. And look, let's get something straight. Your teeth. The ones you cover when you laugh or hide whenever someone breaks out a camera. Well, don't do that anymore. And here's the solution, Smile Direct Club. With Smile Direct Club, you can straighten your teeth with invisible aligners sent directly to you. And for only $80 a month, you can have a smile you'll love and a lifetime of confidence. No braces, no monthly office visits, no paying a fortune with Smile Direct Club because the invisible aligners work gently and discreetly to gradually guide your teeth into alignment. And one of their 200 plus duly licensed doctors oversee your plan every step of the way. Duly licensed is the operative word here, okay? Because they're licensed when it's due. That's what that means, literally. So go to SmileDirectClub.com to see the real before and after photos of more than 350,000 satisfied grins. So you can go order a free impression kit with a rebate or schedule a free 3D scan at one of their Smile shops in your city or your township, wherever you are. Plus, Smile Direct Club has an exclusive offer for our listeners. Get $150 off your invisible aligners at SmileDirectClub.com/podcast and use offer code DINGDONG, all one word. If you're listening, this offer's for you. Get $150 off at SmileDirectClub.com/podcast with offer code DINGDONG. One more time, that's SmileDirectClub.com/podcast, offer code DINGDONG, and even you can partake in straight culture. Bye. Okay, so at some point in every Las Culturistas episode, I brandish the fact that I am in therapy and that Matt is not, but don't worry, we'll get him there. But if you are also thinking about getting a therapist but aren't sure where to start, BetterHelp.com online counseling is there for you. BetterHelp makes it easy to connect with licensed professional counselors, caring professionals specializing in the issues that you want to talk about. Whether it's depression, stress, or anxiety, or trauma, or grief, or self-esteem issues, or any combination of those things, BetterHelp can help connect you with your counselor in a safe and private environment, so you can get help at your own time and at your own pace. You can schedule secure video and phone sessions or text your therapist, all included worldwide, and you can start communicating in under 24 hours. That is huge. That is the biggest roadblock for a lot of people, in my experience, and I was just antsy to get it going. But with BetterHelp, there's almost no lead time in that way, where you're not latently sitting around waiting to talk to someone and get to whatever thoughts or emotions you have out and in the open, and you're able to start making sense of things in a very quick way. And best of all, it's a truly affordable option. And for Las Culturistas listeners, you can get 10% off your first month with discount code DINGDONG, all one word. If you've been wanting to talk to someone, get started today and go to betterhelp.com/dingdong and simply fill out the questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love, and one that you can always change if necessary. So that's betterhelp.com/dingdong with promo code DINGDONG.
For someone to say you're a gatekeeper
Right.
is them saying you're my only way in, which is not true.
Yeah.
There's no one way in. Everyone has a different path. Everyone, I had to
Probably say that a million different ways to a million different people.
I mean, no one's ever told me. I mean, I know that people think that when I was artistic director at UCB, that I was like this, preventing people from their dreams or stopping their dreams or create. But it's like anyone that succeeded was because of their talent, and anyone that like didn't, come through is just like, well, it just wasn't like the right time, or it's like, or you're not good at Harold. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, right.
Like, who cares?
That was always a thing.
That's like this finite thing. That's like it's like but you can still take what you've learned and use it somewhere else.
Can I be honest?
There's so many places that are like, and I love seeing that people are making shit at other places, like, because now like, stop putting this pressure that like this space UCB is the only place, or this space the Magnus only space, or this is the only space. It's like there's like so many different ways to get your success on, and to blame anyone but yourself is, I think, toxic for your creativity and your growth.
And shows that you're just like not ready to be honest about like where you're at.
Well, but to be honest, I think Matt and I experienced different similar versions of that thing, where it's like I would walk into Lloyd auditions and be terrified out of my mind.
Never been more nervous for an audition.
And I was like, I have to like prove my competence to these people who I respect. But then it was like this thing where it was like, oh, maybe I'm just not good at that, and that's fine. But then I've still taken something valuable from what this place has offered me, that I am lucky enough to I was lucky enough to have like met halfway and interfaced in whatever way I did. And then to like, I feel like you just like go sort of forge your own path, even if it means not necessarily being in that system, and like
and that's okay.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
I remember like
it could be better. I think people are often better off.
Yeah,
I see people just like get stuck and like, oh, I got this. I'm on this team. It's like, but what else are you doing?
Yeah, what else is happening?
You got to do other stuff. Like this is a great place for you to like keep your keep the rust off the gears and keep in tune, and you're practicing every week. But it's like, I mean, I get to do Stepfathers every Friday in ASCAP. It's like, but what else? I got to do other stuff. I can't just be like, I did it. It's like, no, that's like that's me going to the gym for my comedic brain. That's what those are for me. And I'm so blessed I get to do it and love everyone I get to do it with. But like, if I don't, I can't just do that.
No.
Like, that is, and I see people probably think like, you did it. That's so awesome. I want to be there. But it's like, yeah, I'm so happy to be here. But I need to do other shit.
It's like any creative goal. It's like anything you said. It's like you get that thing and then you realize, I want more. Yeah. Or like it can't be enough. Like I remember,
and want more, but don't expect someone else to give it to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's want more, not give me more.
Yeah.
Give me more is very toxic for the brain, and it's tough to battle. Because I also understand it, because I think depending on where you are in your life and like your maturity of like what you've experienced can affect how you go through that. Like, because it's like I was 24 when I started. and I was pretty immature, and I made some really stupid mistakes on teams where I was like, I think I was very lucky that I was able to make those mistakes at that time.
Yeah.
Because if that was me now, I'd been like, yeah, get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
But I was given that, that chance to make mistakes and grow. But also like, oh, so I have to like as AD also be like, all right, this person is only this age. Not that I attach age to it or
Totally.
so like hopefully they will learn something from like not getting what they want or struggling with something and know that it can take a while. Like don't compare yourself to Zach Woods or Aubrey Plaza.
Right. Well, the best thing you can get out of rejection is just to strip away your sense of entitlement on things.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like that's probably the lesson that I took away from Lloyd auditions every year that I would do them. I would be like, oh, I don't deserve it. Like, well, it's not owed to me.
Not a deserved. Yeah.
It just wasn't right. It wasn't right fit.
Just also
at
didn't
that
happen.
time.
Right.
And I actually had a completely...
And it's not a perfect system.
Yeah, no, right.
And it never
nothing is.
And it never can be.
Never can be.
But then also like you go to like weekend shows and you go to AskCat and it's like the best improvisers in the world. But
I feel it's a cool factor thing. That this is why I always felt like I was always so upset when I wasn't doing well in improv classes that I never ever got out of my head in improv classes. And it was entirely my fault because I think I started too young. I started 19, which is like, I think just so young. You're not able to be yourself in your own life. How are you going to go out there and like be a canvas on stage and wait for that response to lead to something? I felt like it was such like a important thing to be good at improv and be good at the Herald because that was like what the coolest people were doing.
Sure.
And I always felt like, oh man, I'll never like at NYU, I was on the sketch group and you were on the improv group. And I was like, but I'm not with the cool guys who do improv. Like it was entirely in my own head.
And it was fully reversed on our end where it was like, well, we're not doing sketch.
So what do we have to show for ourselves?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you always want what you don't. It's like anything.
The grass is always greener.
But I remember I had a totally opposite experience from you for the majority of my 20s because I didn't face a lot of rejection. Like I felt like we really worked hard at doing our own thing. Like we had our sketch group, Pop Roulette. I had worked hard in college. So when I auditioned for Mod, I got on the team.
Yep.
Like whenever I auditioned for Characters Welcome, I always got on. Like, and then when JFL happened, I got on.
And you like worked towards those things.
And then there's those things that you get, and then you do feel like, well, I'm a person who this works for me. I get stuff. And then you get into the real industry, and that's when you start facing rejection, and you're like, oh wow, I was just very lucky for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because being told no is a thing, and I do think like. It's like you're scared at those improv auditions because you're scared to be told no and you're scared to be quote unquote bad.
Yeah.
But there's so much good in being told no and like being told like it's not time.
Yeah.
You know, like because it's not.
Yeah.
And you can come back and be good.
You've just like trained to learn something
that
you can, you can use in many aspects of your life, hopefully, if you're viewing it that way.
Yeah,
totally.
I looked at it like
I mean, you can't. It's also like a hard thing as AD. I was like, you can't tell people how to feel, and I want people to feel what they feel.
Yeah.
But I just think about it of like, so people are putting so much pressure on themselves for this like one day, and it's not like this thing that like you get on a team and then suddenly all these riches come to you.
Yeah, you get you
like
don't
there's
get an
auditions
agent.
that you don't get like but there's like these. It's just this thing of like, oh, it's like you just got into like this continued ed program.
Yeah.
Where you just get to like, but you can also put your own teams together and do the same thing elsewhere. But it's like this is just a system that's going to like help you and do it for you and give you a show. But you think about like those auditions that we go on where it's like, oh, I'm auditioning for a recurring role. Like this could change my life.
Right, exactly.
But I don't put that much pressure on it where it's like I memorize, I get my sides down, I go in, I do my best, and then but I'm now at a place where I can just like forget about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember like the first few auditions I went on to be like, oh my God, I get it.
Sure,
Oh my God, am I in it? But it's like now it's like, nope, out, forget.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard for the system at UCB because you have spent a lot of time and money that for some people it is for that specific day.
Yes.
Some people it's not, but I think so much people just be like, I've spent 2 years
Mm-hmm.
for this moment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you've spent 2 years for this knowledge and
Yes.
training you have and these new skills that hopefully you've
Mhm.
built that you can use, but you can't tell people. I can't tell people how to feel. And I also get that. It's like,
Yeah.
there's so many emotions. And
I know, it's
my
hard.
biggest lesson as AD was like, I'm not responsible. It was actually BSJ.
Oh.
Yeah, I was Brandon Scott Jones. I was really upset about something. I had just worked really hard on something, and then and I just like, yay, I did it. And then someone came up to me and said something that kind of like crushed everything I just did. And I was like crying backstage at the Chelsea Theater, and BSJ was like, what's wrong? And I said it, and he's like, Shannon, you are not responsible for their ego. And I was like, you're right.
Why?
That's their ego. Like that was not my fault. So it's like, that's like, I'm not responsible for your ego is like something I had to like, I like would check when like someone would be up, like a performer or a writer would be like upset. I'd be like, okay, let me analyze this. No, I think this is their ego.
Yeah.
And I can help you only so much.
Yeah.
Because there's 300 more of you.
Yeah, it's someone inserting themselves into like the fact that a person came up to you and said something. In that,
Yeah, I like got an email that was just like,
got it.
Love that.
it's just like, why not me?
Yeah.
Kind of like that thing. It's like,
Sure.
ugh.
So it's someone like
Ugh.
it's fully someone injecting their ego, LOL, into your experience, which is just like the Mike.
Doing my best.
Yeah, come on.
It's just
so hard.
It's the Mike Pizzies, it's the Mike Izzies of the world who are like making you faint, and,
Yes,
and then
bitch.
somehow you get in trouble for
Yeah.
it.
It's like,
It's
hey,
like-
yeah.
I don't know.
what it is?
That's not a fully
Yeah,
clean
It's
analogy.
not like
but yeah.
but the fact of the matter is like everyone wants it so bad because when I feel like those weekend like shows that I went to, I'll just never forget because it looked truly
No, it's
like
magical.
magic.
It's
Like I'll just never
beautiful.
forget scenes that I saw Middleditch and Fran do as like the sun and the moon. I was like, this is crazy when I'm watching its art. Like I remember like just like being so swept away by it, and it's just like that's what I think everyone wants is just that moment up there of like community and speaking a language with someone that like it seems like only you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have people that are your favorite people that you've performed with?
I mean, I am so blessed to have Alex Dixon and Connor Ratliff as
So
stepfathers.
funny.
Like,
Geniuses.
it's
Yeah.
we really. I mean, I've really lucked out with my with like improv teams I've been on,
Yeah.
and I know that.
Mhm.
And I know just like that feeling of like what a team that succeeds is one that cares for each other.
Mm.
In my first team, like we were just like all assholes to each other. And I was just like, oh yeah, that's why that team didn't work. And my second team was like, okay and fun. But then kind of was also like this thing of like just too much like not really caring for each other. And then I finally found like when I had Mailer Demon, which turned into Fwand, it was like,
Right.
oh, we're all
I
on the
remember
same
Fwand.
page.
Yeah.
We all really want to work for this one thing.
Yeah.
And if one of us was like, oh, like no one ever was just like, I don't want to do that. It was like, they would be like, and honestly, like, you know what? I don't feel strong about this, but I will try it.
Yeah.
Like I will give 100% and we'll try it. And let me, but I want just like, we were all honest with each other and it like in a good way. And it was like great. And then I got on, Stepfathers, which was like a scary thing because I was like deciding to leave this team that I was just like really loved, and we were doing it was really challenging me and making me a better improviser.
Yeah.
And we were just like doing really cool shit, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it was like a really hard decision. I had the hardest time telling the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the tough
It was
part.
just like, oh, this wasn't like see ya. This was like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
I'm stepping away and like taking a chance.
Yeah.
And then Stepfathers turned out great. And now
Yeah.
it's like, it's been, now it's just like, it's me and Alex and Connor, and it's for the most part, and it's like, I have just like genuine love for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we are just like on stage, taking care of each other, having fun. We just know each other so well that it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we can step out and just like,
Just
it's
trust
and
each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know that's why like we are so good.
Yeah.
Did you
because
see?
we share with each other,
Yeah.
or if we don't, we're just like, I know something, tell me.
Yeah.
Like we don't like. There's no. Yeah, we're really good about
Wow.
about that. So it's like that is. Yeah.
Did you see Connor on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
I watched. I went
so
to his.
funny on
great.
it.
I went to his episode and like was watching Chester, the
He plays like,
molester.
yeah, like he basically plays like Alex
Fucking
Borstein is in the
creep.
show. She's like pretending to be like the sanitation worker at the Catskills, so that she can like keep an eye on
this
Rachel
is the Catskills
Brosnahan.
episodes. Yeah.
And like she's just walking around with a plunger just to make sure everyone thinks she works there. And Connor plays a guy who's also doing that. So he's just like also a creep.
That's great.
It's just very good. It's like very Connor Ratliff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Alex Dixon too. She's so
good.
fucking funny.
And great energy.
If
Great
you're out there
energy.
listening, showbiz, get on the Alex Dixon
Get on the
train.
Alex Dixon train.
on.
Oh,
you
come on.
are sleeping on
She
her.
can do anything.
She's such an amazing actress.
So good.
Makes me a better improviser. Both her and
she
Connor.
does. She acts.
She acts.
Her and Connor both are
Yeah.
like just reactors, and I'm just like an insane monster. And they've both made me a better actor.
Yes.
It really,
Yeah.
there's a big difference. You know, when you're dead on with that. Alex Dixon, she acts her scenes.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I'm trying to think who else does that.
They're they're like honest, real reactions
Yes.
that lead to humor.
Yeah.
Like those honest, like
That's 100% it.
yeah.
Glenn Buzan and I did this weird web series where I forgot what she wrote it, but like we were both these two like branding consultants, and then Alex Dixon comes in and plays her and Karen Hammerberg were like these two like female CEOs of this company.
I already love it.
And like Glenn and I were like just being incompetent for whatever reason. Then we were just improvising the whole thing, and then the funniest moment was Alex just going, You're terrible people. Like you're bad at your jobs.
so
It was
funny.
just but it was acting. It was like
Yeah.
in full realism. Like
You
giving
also
it
just
to
said the name Glenn Buzan, and my heart exploded.
oh yeah, I mean, the best.
love her
The
so
best,
much.
The best. But yeah, Alex, phenomenal.
It's UCB has truly like that was really like so formative.
It,
like
really
because it really exposed us to the best people.
I think UCB like sets the tone for a lot of the stuff, for everything. I mean, that's
Yeah,
true, but like
yeah.
in terms of like the talent it generates, like yes, like that has always been there. But in terms of how it ripples out into other people's work, like it is informed by whether people are like just like going upstream from it in a fun way where it's like alt and it's like crazy. It's like, you know, fucking Conor
Yeah.
O'Malley will do something nuts where, you know, he's in it, but he's also like
Yeah, right.
totally fucking shit up. Or it's someone who like, I feel like we like also like, I'll say that we like are very influenced by the sensibility that like we like picked up from meeting people there in our instructors.
Absolutely.
Like that's
I'm also
true.
glad that there's people that have not come through that
Yeah.
found
Yeah.
other ways.
Yes.
You
yes,
know?
Yes.
Like, you know, like I don't think Patty Harrison needs to take an improv class.
No,
you
no,
know?
no.
And
Well,
if like
she
so it's
actually-
like
She took classes.
I didn't
though.
know this, but she was like an improviser in college.
Oh yeah.
I always
That's
just
great.
thought of her
Yeah.
as like someone that came from like stand up or whatever, but then I realized like she was like
She's-
an improviser.
Yeah.
she has other, but it's like there's like certain was like no, you don't need to.
You don't need-
You don't need to come through this.
no,
I also
sure.
I think it would squash some people. You know,
Yeah.
so I think
Sure,
it's like if
sure.
you just can know like what is your, or if you're going through it and you're like, oh, you know what, this isn't for me, and that's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
You know, or it's like, oh, I got some training. That's okay. I'm gonna, you know, I want to go do a show somewhere else, and like,
Yeah.
It takes a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of self-awareness, but I think it's in everybody to be like, there is a mechanism in every person to be like, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah,
If-
I mean,
if that's the case.
Like at the end of my at the end of my road there, I wasn't on a Herald team, and I was never going to be because I wasn't good at the Herald. Like it's
Yeah.
just not the way my brain works.
Same.
But taking improv classes at UCB did not only made me a better performer, made me a performer.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize I could even stand up in front of people and speak like that until I took my 101 at UCB. So it's like there's so many other, and it also makes people better communicators.
oh
Yes,
yeah,
Hello.
yes,
Hopefully.
yes.
Right.
Yeah. Is there some sense of relief now that you're just on like the performer side fully, like full
Yeah,
stop?
I would imagine.
I mean, of course. Such a redundant. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You did it for
Oh,
what?
no.
4 or 5 years?
I did for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggest
As
release of
artistic
tension. What was like the biggest tension for you, would you say?
It's just my time.
Yeah.
It was just a job that took my life.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person that like if I have a job, I do it. Like I can't half-ass
No.
anything.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like
All the way.
I just was like submerging myself all the way, and
Yep.
it's like because I can't not, because it affects so many people who I know are like working hard and stuff. So that was like, it was just such a time suck where I made a plan. I made an exit plan to be like, okay, this is when I got to be out. But then I pushed that a little bit because of the move from Chelsea to Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I can't leave yet because my thing of being like, I can't abandon this.
No, totally.
I gotta like take this through a little bit. And then I finally was just like, ugh, I got it.
We gotta stop.
But I gave 5 months notice.
Well, it seems like the onboarding.
So I was like, I wasn't being a monster about it. I was like, I'm going to give 5 months notice because then I've said it. It's happening. I can see DCM through and just like let the next person start at like a chill time.
Yeah.
Because to just like start at a not chill time would be like insane.
And there are so few and far between pockets of chill time.
No, it's like July, August is like the only chill time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Or like holidays, but I wasn't going to like train someone over the holidays.
Right.
Totally.
I remember hearing that you were stepping down, and I was like, who could do it? I remember you just became so synonymous with me with running that theater so well, and I was just like,
there's a scary thing too, me stepping down, because it wasn't like who will do it. I was like, who wants to do it?
Yeah, that's another thing too. And
I think people getting 2 a.m., 3 a.m. emails from me for like 4 years. It's like, what is this life?
Hardney asked me, he's like, I'm thinking about applying for it. I was like, and I literally said to him, I was like, do you want that job? And he was like, I think I do. And I was like, okay, bitch, I think you'd be perfect for it.
Yeah.
Like,
and when I knew that DCM was probably not going to be part of the thing too, but like couldn't like announce that. But I was like, maybe once we announce that DCM won't be in New York, that maybe more people will apply.
Yeah,
but it was so late that we announced that. But because that truly also killed me.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, my time was like a huge thing of like I didn't really have like a life. And then also you hit a point of upsetting people unintentionally. Like there's only like a limit that you can hit.
You're
like,
a human being.
It's impossible.
Yeah. Where it's just like, oh, my job is making people upset. And someone said to me shortly before, I had already given my notice to the UCB4 and Alex Sidis. But then someone had said to me before I announced it to everyone, they're like, Shannon, you know that your job, like you're never right. And I was like, what? And they're like, no, like you're never right, because like you could put someone on a team and then someone else is like, why are they on a team? So it's like anything I do is like never going to completely please everybody. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm aware of that.
I'm made aware of that frequently.
I got off Facebook too late, but when I did get off Facebook, what a blessing. So I wouldn't
Wasn't that a relief to get off of it?
Oh yeah, because it's like, oh, I don't have to see. It was, Are you off?
I'm off.
Are you off? Are you off?
I'm off. I'm about to do the thing where I just download all my photos and then I just fully shut it down forever.
I have a dummy account.
Great.
That I just use for like my CrossFit and my basketball team.
Great.
The
and
election.
But other than that, like it's friendless. Like people will like, I'm not your friend. I'm like, yeah, it's a friendless account, so I'm not looking at it.
Right.
Great.
The election ruined it for me, but it was kind of just more like, not even just that. It was just the seeing people change. Once I started to make estimations and like calls about people who are my friends in real life based on their online persona, that was like truly just words on a screen, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I know I have more love in my heart than what I feel every time I log onto this website. It just turns you into a monster, which is why I think young people are very perceptive. And I think that like...
So young people are not on Facebook?
They're not on Facebook.
Like at what age are we talking as young?
I think
like,
they look at it like a...
But who is young? Like what ages?
High school kids are not on it right now, and I don't think a lot of college kids are on it.
Interesting.
And do you truly...
What do they use?
I think they go on Instagram and they do Snapchat.
But you're saying that we're like weaning, they're going to wean off Instagram? So, no, Snapchat is a fucking ghost town.
Right. Well,
it
across
is.
the board.
They do something. And I don't know exactly what that is. That's how I know, like, that I'm really not in touch with what the kids are doing. Because I don't even know what they're on now. But I know they're not on Facebook.
Right.
And I also know that, like, a lot of us are not on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
Like, a lot
of us.
Of people are not on Facebook.
And Facebook feels like a ghost town, too. But you're saying...
Actually, no, because it's, like, criminal.
But do you, is your theory that... they're gonna hit a wall with Instagram too? That it's like there's no... The bubble for them is about to burst where it's like, well, I don't want any sort of online exposure.
I think that the conversation around these things are becoming so negative because it makes us feel bad.
Yeah.
And I think that we only are going to take that for so long. You know what I mean? Like, and you think about like these things, like it's like anything else that consumes the time of the populace. Like people move on to other interests. You know what I mean? There are times when people don't go to. There was a time when there was no blockbuster movies. You know what I mean? Like, and then there was a time like. I just think different things take hold, and we will find like what the next Facebook is that will bring everyone's attention over there.
Sure.
I mean, movies used to be in the theaters for 6 months.
Right.
And now it's like, what?
6 weeks?
2 months?
Yeah.
Oh my
Or
God.
I worked at a movie theater, and it was like we had Jurassic Park for 6 months.
Yeah.
We had Liar Liar for 6 months.
And there was like, in terms of
we had Home Alone
Yeah.
for 6 months.
Wow.
hit movies that were, I remember you can look at the list like of all the most highest grossing movies every year, and it's so crazy the way it's changed from like the year 1990 to 2018. Now it's like you used to have like 3 or 4 movies that made over $100 million. Now it's like the top 30 movies all make over $100 million, and like the way like the kinds of films that are made now is just movies really depress me because it's all sequels, but like these things change, you know, like and my only thing is like I feel that if you really look at it, we are getting dumber. Because I think if you were to take movies and the box office totals and you're really just to look at it, the lack of imagination in storytelling and just the fact that we're getting regurgitated the same idea again and again and again, and these movies are all the same, and that is making such an exorbitant amount of money, and we're willing to keep going back and going back and going back. That is like because we're not using our brains.
Wow, so you're saying A Star Is Born is bad?
I'm saying A Star Is Born is an example. No, I think A Star Is Born actually counts as like an original thought, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because that's like a...
It's mythic.
That's
it's
a
like,
different one.
Okay.
What I'm saying is like, when we get fucking, you know...
Fast and the Furious?
Fast and the Furious 10.
Right. Because that's like we're banking on. It's just, but it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Same, same story, different cars.
Right, exactly. We're just feeling dumber.
Sure.
Like it's just like
a lot of it is it's just shiny objects.
Right.
I mean, I catch myself on Instagram just watching people ice cakes.
Right.
You know, too much.
Which
I'm
is
like, wow,
fine.
how do they make this unicorn cake?
Damn it,
And I
you're
see
right.
it, and I'm like, what? And I will just watch it because it's like my
Yeah.
own. I guess it's like my version of ASMR, or just is that what it would be? I don't know what
basically
it's like a thing of like, oh, I can just like
shut down
down and
Yeah.
watch this, but it's like it's not helping me.
No.
I don't, because I'm not learning anything
That's
from it,
my-
and
yeah.
I get mad at myself.
And we're addicted to it, but the young kids aren't.
And that's
so they're going to
good.
be able to see it and be like, that's bad. And they're just going to do something else.
That's
well,
good. That's
you
good.
saying that at the beginning was reminding me of like when I was a kid
Yeah.
and what I liked to do. And maybe it was like my own version of like, I love just shooting free throws in my yard, in my driveway. I could do that. I could take my boombox out, listen to the NBA draft, and just like shoot for the night. I would do like, you ever do those? I don't know if you guys
so
had it
nice.
because you're our age difference, but it was like it was a pogo ball, and it was like a round rubber ball.
Yeah.
With like a saucer, like like you're
I remember this.
Yeah, we
and
had
you
these
just
pogo
jump
balls.
and jump
Yes.
Jump
and
on
jump.
it.
And
Yep.
I was like,
We had that.
that was my
That was my
swiping.
shit.
That was my swiping because I went to after a summer camp at and I could if you held the record, you got like a free McDonald's hamburger.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I just did this for 1,000 jumps, and I would have blisters on the inside of my feet because it was just like I had to like. That's like what my swiping was, but it was like physical
It
activity.
was physical activity. It was productive. It
But I could
disciplined
also
you.
I could read more books when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now it's just like I'm trying to get back into reading and I'm doing better, but I'm just like even like on like the way here I was like, "Oh, I have a subway ride. I'm going to read the book." But then I got
Sidetracked.
just like a little bit sidetracked by my I don't think so, honey.
Wow.
In a
Honestly,
good way where I was like, "Oh, okay.
Okay, now I know.
So it still was like
It's still
using
mental
my,
stimulus.
It was still using my
Great,
brain.
great.
it isn't, but isn't that the
Yeah.
scary thing where it's like, I have to remind myself that to feel good about the fact that I did use my brain. You know what I mean? Like,
But I remember I'm also at my best
yeah.
when as a performer when my brain feels stronger and like I'm like taking care of myself like physically and my brain. So like if I'm working out and I'm reading
Yes.
or doing something that feels like it's like a task. Like I just got a Switch, thank you, and I feel
What are you playing?
I'm just doing Mario Odyssey right
Great,
now.
great. It's great.
And I feel great about that. Like I don't do it a lot. I just do it for like a half hour, but it's like it's problem solving.
It's puzzles. Yeah.
It's puzzles. It's problem solving. So it's like that's not me just watching, different 3-tier cakes being decorated in different
You're
ways.
so right.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, oh yes, oh, and it's like coordination and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, I'm not doing it for hours and hours, but there is like I don't feel bad about that because it is like a puzzle that
and
I like
it's
to
good
solve.
because the game is designed for sort of these little pick up and play moments.
Yes.
And I feel like, are you a Zelda person? I feel like you would like Zelda.
I didn't like old school Zelda
Right. Old school Zelda is hard and esoteric, but
of Nintendo Day, but I
Right.
hear that the Zelda is awesome.
it is exactly what you're looking for in terms of these little shrines, these little micro puzzles that are all about spatial reasoning and all about like coordination. It's
Which
perfect.
I really
That's your
enjoy,
shit.
and I'm
Yeah.
not like
And it might be your gateway into other Zelda games because if you start with this most recent one and go backwards, you just realize, oh, like I only recently got into Zelda. Like I played Ocarina when I was a kid, but then like fell off. But then in the lead up to this new Zelda game, played all the old ones, and I was like, oh, this is a genius series. Like it's all just puzzles,
yeah.
all just these
I mean, I used to
elaborate.
really love video games, but then I just like didn't have the time after I became AD. But like,
Now just
I wish I
get
had.
back into it.
Yeah, but like the Switch was like, oh, this is like an easy,
right.
easy new gateway.
Yeah. So,
But I'm very but it is like I hope kids are getting away from.
I think it's gonna, we're gonna look back at this time and we're gonna realize like we were obsessed with social media.
It's a drug. We didn't realize we've been doing cocaine this entire time.
You know what?
And
It really
didn't know.
is.
We didn't know. Like there was no warning on the cigarette pack when we started smoking. Twitter was originally you telling your friends where you were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
It was
just
like-
what you were eating, what you
Yeah.
were doing.
And
It's
now
like,
it's just been
Hey, going to the
Yeah.
movies, and now it's some of that. Like I love the jokes,
Yeah.
but when you look up stuff and it's just like, oh, this is a terrible rumor,
Yeah.
and now people are gonna believe it, and it's
Yeah.
like you cannot battle a brush fire.
No, it's
Wow,
literally
yeah.
it's a forest fire.
It's gonna burn, and people are just gonna remember the burn.
Yes.
And not that like what started it was like this like stupid match that was lit inappropriately.
right.
Should never have lit. That match should have never been lit. It was
Yeah.
falsely lit.
We didn't need to
And
light
it just
it.
like we did not need to light it because
No.
before you lit it, you should have asked someone, should I light this? And
Yeah.
like, no, and here's why you shouldn't light it because
Right.
your reasoning for lighting it is actually incorrect. But now
Yeah.
you're lighting it and throwing it and being like, and the consequences just like you can't control it.
Oh, God.
I have hope. I have hope because
have
I
hope
just
too.
think
Yeah.
like I think the fact of the matter is our like generations might be kind of lost to it because we're already obsessed. We're already addicted. We have this addiction in our lives. But
think-
I know that the younger generation like they have to be able to look at this and call out that unusual thing, which is the obsession with and indulgence in constant falsity. Like, you know
like
what I mean?
The dopamine flooding in your
Yeah.
bloodstream. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
It is a drug.
It's a bad drug. Yeah.
Should we move on?
We're gonna move on to I don't think so, honey.
Okay.
And obviously our guest has been stewing on hers.
Matt, you go.
I'll go.
Okay, this is Matt Rogers' I Don't Think So, Honey. His time starts now.
I don't fucking think so, honey. The earbuds that come with any iPhone product.
Oh.
What the fuck is going on when literally, am I the only one who 2 months after I'm using it, only one earbud works? Answer this question. Is this a thing? Like, this is, I swear to God. And then you go to replace them and it's $30?
You need to take care of them.
What do you mean I need to take care of them?
You're sitting on one of them too. You're putting too much pressure. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, this is no. That would I would have to be in a fucking
30
temperature sealed
seconds.
thing. I swear to God, I feel like headphones should be like Wi-Fi and water. Everyone should just be able to have them. I need them. And honestly, it's like I get that iPhones they have this whole thing where it's like you better update at a certain time or the phone's basically going to melt
15
in your
seconds.
hands. But I just feel so upset. I don't even own headphones right now because I know I'm going to go out and buy them for $30, which is too much money.
Yep.
And then they're going to like not be usable in 2
5
seconds.
seconds.
And also, they're small. You can lose them. So I don't think so, honey. Headphones, no thanks.
And that's 1 minute.
Oh, that's good. I just started.
Am I wrong?
No, I just started Bluetooth.
And
Headphones
that's
are culture.
Headphones are culture.
They
It's
are.
rule of culture number 16. Headphones
are
are culture.
Yes.
And so this is my problem, though. It's like right now I don't even have any headphones, and I'm like a psycho in the gym, like who has nothing. Like, and I'm just like,
no, that you can't do that.
Yeah.
that's
You
what
need
Joel
to
Kim
listen to
Booster
music.
famously hasn't. He thinks he's a big strong boy and just goes and just listens to nothing, and I've been doing that. I'm just
No.
literally like
You can't.
by myself in the gym, and I want to be able to listen to podcasts and do my thing while I'm in the gym, but I'm scared to go out and buy them because they've proven unreliable
Because you're
every
buying
time.
non-Apple ones, you mean?
I'll
All of
even
them.
go to the Apple store and buy Apple ones, and then
Yeah.
I'm shocked when the product is bad, and I can't
Cord.
I don't know.
Great.
Yeah.
So I guess
Things aren't made like they used to be.
They're not
and
made.
I sound old, but I have my grandmother's hand mixer.
and
Still
it
works.
still works like a charm.
Oh,
Still
my
works.
God.
My mom gave it, like there's a smell, but it works.
I have a bowl that my mom
There's
always
a
says.
patina, but
yeah,
it
there's
works.
there's like a burning smell, but it works.
I make pasta in this bowl that my mom gave me, and every single time she doesn't even say that's my bowl I gave you. She says my bowl from when I was single. Like she calls it her bowl from
Wow.
when she was single, and I'm like, this is so weird. It's a weird way to like
Stop.
Oh yeah.
associate it, like
From
when I was fucking.
Who else ate out of that bowl?
All right, Bowen Yang.
Who could have been the person that did not allow you to exist?
She went to junior prom with this guy who his name is Kevin Mazur, and he takes all the photos of Beyonce when she does a concert. I swear to God, he's a huge
Wait,
celebrity
dated him?
photographer. My mom dated him in high school, and they went to junior prom
He
together.
takes pictures for everything.
He takes pictures for every celebrity. Literally, if you go on
And
these,
at every award show he's
every
at, too.
award show, every concert, he's like
No
the photographer
way.
to the stars. Kevin Mazur, that was my mom's like boyfriend in high school.
So
And
talented.
has she said, "Hey"?
They still talk.
Okay.
They still talk. He was gonna do my headshots a few years ago.
Oh my God.
And I was like, don't make him do that. She's always like, well, I could talk to him if you ever want to do something. Like back when she thought that's how you get an agent. Like she was going to use her industry
Interesting.
connects.
That would have been very cool,
Yeah.
but probably a weird move.
Probably
Completely.
weird.
But apparently she still does. Or
If
he
people
still
knew, if people like, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
if people or could tell, like, oh, those are Mazur
Those
shots.
are Mazurs. Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
Whoa.
this guy is like huge.
Well,
I
yeah.
bet.
This is Bowen Yang's I Don't Think So, Honey. And his time actually starts now.
I don't think so, honey. Carbs. Ooh, I'm on Whole30 right now. I don't miss you. And I'm shocked at myself. I remember I did a different diet, the Tim Ferriss one back in college. And on the second day, I was calling everyone toxic and disgusting. And all I wanted was a pizza. But somehow Whole30, I'm surprisingly sticking to it. Oh, but that's not true. I cheated.
Sudi told me you guys cheated.
We cheated. And then I cheated last night because
Okay,
I
but
ate a really good pot pie. So you know what? I've fallen off the wagon already. But
30 seconds
it's, but everyone describes this thing when you're on Whole30 that you look at the things that you used to eat and you're like disgusted by them. And I love that. And it's a fun feeling to be in control of what you put in your body. And I recommend this to you.
You don't need to point to me. I've been doing it. 15
but like
seconds.
we've been putting garbage in our bodies, Matt.
Bowen, I know.
And we have to hit the reset button, and that's what Whole30 is. I am not being endorsed. I just think it gets a lot of flack. People
5
shit on it a
seconds.
lot, but I don't mind it. It's actually not a bad way to go.
And
that was actually an I Do Think So, Honey Whole30.
Yeah, my question
it
was,
truly was.
you were not
It was.
upset
I
about
don't think so, honey.
anything.
Carbs. But the fact of the matter is,
I don't think so many
honey,
carbs. I had pot pie last night and it was good and I'm okay with it. But like, you should do this whole 30. This was a.
That took so
You're
many
losing
turns.
it. You've
I'm
done.
sorry, I
You're
lost
losing it, guys.
I know, we
love
are.
it.
I
Yeah.
haven't been
You hit a
doing.
wall. You hit a
You hit a
wall.
wall. We hit a
You
wall.
hit a wall, and that happens. I haven't been doing any specific dieting plan, but I have been going to the gym every day, and afterwards I eat like lean proteins, and I do drink protein shakes. And I will say this: I've been eating so like well for me over the past 2 weeks. The other night at Dave's, me, Dave, and Ariel like ate a bunch of like chips and salsa when we were watching the Globes.
Mhm.
The next day,
Stomachache.
I was like shitting blood.
Wow.
It was horrible. I was like, my body was like, get this
From
bad
eating
food
what?
out of me. Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa. Not even that bad.
And honestly, like, but my body was like,
Sudi and
my
I-
body was literally like, we are rejecting junk food now.
That's good though. Your
That's
body,
good.
your body has become like self.
Yeah,
bulimic in a way?
Self-bulimic.
So it's deciding.
Yeah.
To get rid of it.
My body's deciding.
It does. I think when you take care of yourself and then you
Yeah.
have that bad stuff, I feel like the bad stuff actually doesn't. It makes you feel bad,
You know what?
but like it's like
That's you
that.
become
That's you
self-bulimic.
knowing that you've worked to get rid of that.
It's very that, and also I don't know if this happens to you guys, but like I've recently been back in the gym, like I said, and like I'll get through my second set of whatever I'm doing, and my body's like, we have to shit now.
Oh, yeah.
Like my body will just be like, we have to go shit right now.
Yeah.
Do you not-
and then I do.
Are you not on a schedule,
I like
like
go
a
to,
poop schedule?
well,
I'm a morning pooper.
I'm a morning pooper too.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know what's really bad? And this is the one main thing I have to change going forward. I'm a bad night eater.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
You can't
change
do
that.
it.
Like
Can't do it.
like how many hours before bed are you eating?
Like
The hour.
the hour.
Yeah. That's.
Because that's when I
But,
smoke.
and oh, you smoke too.
I smoke weed and then I
oh,
like,
weed. Okay.
I like, no, like I don't smoke cigarettes. What I do is like I wake up around like 10 because I'm usually doing shows at night. So I wake up a little late and I'm freelancer. So that's when my day starts and I'm not hungry right away. I'll go to the gym, come back, eat after that. Then I'll end up eating like my lunch at like 6 and then dinner wants to happen at 10, 11 p.m.
No, you will wake up. You want to wake up hungry.
Yeah. I'll just keep telling myself that.
Just give yourself a cutoff time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I won't eat after like what, 8:30? What's good?
When do you go to bed? At least 3 hours.
12:30?
At least 3 hours before bed.
All right, so I won't eat
If
after
you go to
10.
bed at 12:30, stop eating by 9:30.
Yeah, okay.
That's like the rule that I hear. You could
All
even
right.
cut it out a little bit earlier.
Do you
And
think-
remember, like water is gonna take away that hunger.
Are
I
they on
drink a
your
ton of
are they
water
on
now.
your ass about diet stuff with whole CrossFit?
Oh,
stuff?
there's no like. Oh no one's like on your ass. But
Okay.
it's. I was eating bad like the past 2 months. Will admit had too many Entenmann's donuts.
Oh, but they're so good.
They're so good.
It was like
That's
the
the problem.
it was like the holiday. I hate the holidays and they really stress me out. So I just was being bad. But I'm on a little nice. There's a challenge at my CrossFit.
Great.
So it's like you decide. There's no pressure on like what to eat. It's just like whatever, however you want to do it, you do it. So some people are doing paleo, some people are doing.
Paleo.
But I'm doing like clean eating.
Clean eating.
So
Great.
that's it.
I see.
Some
Love
clean
it.
eating. So I allow myself like the only cheese I allow myself is like goat cheese, and that's just like a little bit.
Just
and
something
it's like
unprocessed.
and if I want it, it's just like a lot of unprocessed, and it makes you feel. So now I am waking up hungry because I'm going to bed hungry.
Yeah.
Last
okay.
night I was really starving, and I had like a swig of almond milk. So I was like, this isn't terrible.
No.
And maybe I think I had like a little piece of, I baked some apples. So I had like a baked apple. I was like, okay, like it's me weaning myself. Cause I was also like getting home late and just being like, oh, I'm home. And this is my home. And I've just walked my dog and I'm not like, I haven't wired down yet. So it's like training your body. But if you cut out, then you'll be hungry in the morning.
Yeah,
So you can
I'm like-
get a little something to get your metabolism going.
The thing about me, my impulse control is not good in any aspect of my
Well, that's
life.
what you're
so
training
it's
as
like,
well.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
trying.
and you'll
training
sleep
to
better.
like that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
You have like crazy dreams.
I actually have insomnia. I think it probably has to do with that. I'm
your
actually
body's-
learning a lot right now.
You're making you're activating your body by eating.
You're right.
Yeah, but just have a little bit of water.
I'll have a little bit of water and I'll just
Jerk off and then fall asleep.
jerk off.
Yeah.
It does help.
Always
It
helps.
does. Oh my god.
You got to jerk off.
You gotta.
I do in the morning though. I do all the time.
You gotta get a little scream. I say, gotta get a little scream if you want to dream.
Oh, guru. All right, this actually is.
I never. That's the first time I've said that.
Gotta have a little scream if you want to dream.
What
So
rule
good.
of culture is that?
Rule of culture number 66.
66.
You gotta get a little scream if you want to dream. And it's also title of app: Scream to
Dream.
Scream to dream.
Scream
to dream. The number 2. I almost said the letter 2. Got a picture of that.
Scream to dream. No spaces.
Scream to dream.
No spaces.
No spaces.
Great. Okay, this is Shannon O'Neill's I Don't Think So, Honey.
Okay, and I want to apologize. I did text twice with my dog walker
That's
in
fine.
the past 5 minutes.
That's
she
fine.
didn't.
I don't need that apology because you're doing what you need to do.
Yes.
She was gonna look for a coat for my dog.
You're a
and
mother
she
in this world of a dog.
Doesn't need. I'm not their mother.
You're their friend.
You're their owner.
I keep them alive.
Keep them alive. There you go.
No, I'm their owner. I'm their alpha. Okay.
There you go.
All right, this is Shannon O'Neill's I Don't Think So, Honey.
I'm so
and her
nervous.
time begins now.
I don't think so, honey. Twitter news. What is your algorithm and why is the woman found dead in a clothing donation box still showing up? I don't think so, honey. Why do you quickly flash into my brain that a little boy is missing and then switch it to how much Samuel L. Jackson is worth? No, honey, figure your shit out. How does a woman that died at 114 years old just barely beat out a tree snail that died at the age of 14? That is fucked, honey. Update the news as it comes
30
in.
seconds.
All right, I know about the huge fatberg. I've known about it for 24 hours. Get her out of my feed, honey. Trends for you? That shit ain't for me. Trending for me? Donald Trump Jr.? No, honey. He does not trend for me. Thursday thoughts? It's Wednesday, honey. Trend me some blind animals climbing a fucking rock. Trend me a bunch of children dancing better than Beychella. Trend me how to make bacon a healthy meal.
5 seconds.
Twitter news? I don't think so, honey.
And that's 1 minute. That was very good because I don't think so, honey. Twitter news.
so right.
The best I don't think so, honeys should be things where you really don't think so, honey.
You really
And I
don't think so, honey.
Twitter news.
My other, yeah. That
What
was
was
a
your
fun,
other
But
one?
that was a fun one because it was like the pressure to like write something, which I need because I've been kind of lazy. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna
jot down
write
these things I don't like.
a little comedic piece.
The beats,
So it's fun.
the beats were pristine in that. What was the other one?
Give us
My
what the
other
other one
thing
was.
I don't think so, honey. Wedding registries.
Oh, no.
Have you done that? Has someone covered that?
No, we've never had that.
one's
We've never had
ever
wedding
done that.
registries, although that's
a
another
lot of wedding traditions. I learned. I don't like wedding registries because like I know you have cups and plates
Right.
and bowls. Like you don't need it. It's an out of date tradition of like when you didn't have a house and it's like you get married and you move into a house and you need help from the community, but
Yeah.
you don't need it.
You know what I kind of like?
Also,
you
if
know
you
what?
have money, like
I know.
if you're a wealthier person and you're getting married and you have poor friends coming,
Right. Matt Gehring and Shayna Taub did a cool thing, which was
Ooh.
when they got married, for their like it was like a wedding registry, yes, but it was like they were going on their honeymoon.
It was the honey fund.
And
yeah.
it was a honey fund.
Yeah.
And you paid for different things on their honeymoon.
even
so
then,
you don't
I'm
like
not-
that?
No,
I loved it because I loved knowing that they were gonna.
Oh my
I bought them
God.
like 2 rounds of drinks on the beach, and I loved that. I loved knowing that's what they were gonna
Only
do.
if it's like an It's a Wonderful Life
But
situation.
if it's like I'm sending you on like an insane honeymoon,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah. That's
Like
don't put that on me.
No, there's something of I just think the traditions have warped what it's like what a wedding was.
Yes,
It's like
yes.
it's not
It
the
used to
same.
be 2 people who were in love.
I learned the other day that you know what the wedding cake
Where
where
does
it comes
that come from? No.
Where?
I'm gonna mess it up, but during some time pre-time.
Pre-time.
Pre-time. So pre-time.
Free time.
Pre-time, the bride, it was there was this lore that she was like this magical thing on her wedding day. Like she contained magic. So guests would come up and try and grab parts of the bride and like take pieces of her wedding dress and take, like basically grabbing and being aggressive to be like, you're magic. I have to touch you and take your stuff.
No.
So to stop that, the wedding cake is a wedding dress. It's this white tiered wedding dress. So now
They have
every
that to
time
take.
you're eating the wedding cake, you're eating
the
the bride,
bride.
you fucking monsters.
Oh my.
So next time you're at a
God.
wedding, be careful what piece you eat and think about what part of the bride that is. So it's like this kind of like
I
this
never eat the
very
cake.
aggressive
I never eat the cake.
kind of thing of like grabbing at the bride. I get
don't
the
like
thing of like,
that.
oh, she's magic, but then it's also like putting too much on someone that is getting married. Like you're magical because someone decided to marry you. Also,
Insane.
no, we're all magical.
We're all
without
magical,
that.
okay?
We're all
When-
magical.
When someone's magical, your instinct shouldn't be to grab them.
Give me.
No, yeah, that's too much.
Oh my
You should
God.
wait for them to come to you and give them a piece of of themselves.
Those are
I
both.
don't like weddings anyway.
I like a celebration, but I think
Yes.
it's like
I like a party.
I love a party.
Love a party.
Love a party.
I think if I ever do find someone again, I will potentially have a wedding because like I would want to have the party. But
Yeah.
but then also like I don't want to do the thing where I have to invite people.
Oh,
That's,
bitch.
yeah.
My parents are sure as hell not coming to my gay wedding, so I'm doing it at City Hall, and then we're just gonna go to a bar afterwards.
Love that bitch.
And it'll be like themed. We'll close it down.
I'm
it'll
giving
be
such a speech.
It'll be a private event.
And everyone can do what they want to do, but make sure
Exactly.
you're not feeling the pressure to
Yeah.
do
There you
because of this
go.
thing.
That's what
Like it should be. I love a wedding where it's like, oh, this is really the couple. Like
Yeah.
you can see their essence in it.
a couple of my friends I've been at their weddings and I'm like, did you want this? You know what I mean? Like sometimes like when the wedding is like super religious or when the wedding is like when like there's a ton of people there doing things at the wedding at the service like who I've never seen before. I'm like, did you want this? Or
Yeah.
were you told you had to have that person?
Or it's the parents that it's like,
Yeah. Or was it
it's what
like,
the parents
yeah.
wanted.
I just want my wedding to be my wedding if I ever have one.
I love a wedding, and it's fine if you do this, but I love a wedding with no parties. No wedding parties.
No wedding party.
No bride, no groom party. It's
Oh.
just the two of them.
Yeah.
But it's fine if you have them.
That's also such a thing of like the pressure of I was only a bridesmaid once and it was great because my friend
Good experience.
just told me, go get a dress, any dress you want.
great.
Like what I think, or it was like a style, it was like a bohemian style. So we all just had like these different.
That's cool.
Or she just was like, "Hey, this is $20. It's at the kiosk at the mall. I'm gonna get it for you." I'm like, "Great, I'll give you $20."
Yeah, and you
And
didn't
it
have
was
to wear
just-
something that like you didn't like.
No, and it wasn't like this. Yeah, and there was no bachelorette party or like that pressure, because you just hear like I just hear people complaining about
The
it.
nightmare, especially with bachelorette parties.
And then it's like you want to try and make it perfect for this person, and it's not gonna be. And
Yeah.
then they come to your improv show, and you're like, I don't want to talk to you. The show is not about you and your bachelorette party.
Oh my God. No, I mean, yeah, I think I already know who will be in my my bridal party. Was that what I'm calling it? Or groom's party?
Groom's party.
But it's a mixture of men and women, okay?
I
will not be tied down by these.
All genders don't subscribe to the binary.
Yes.
And I'll
all
tell you
genders.
a fun fact about me. I was married before, and I on purpose did not want to. I tried planning it for 5 minutes and hated it, and so we eloped.
Yeah.
And I was
Great.
like, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. We're eloping. And then my ex-sister-in-law
No.
decided that she was going to throw a surprise party
No.
for us.
No.
But she put it under the under the guise that it was a surprise engagement party. Because she knew. The only people that knew were like my mom knew and my ex-husband's mom knew, and his sisters. And it was his one sister did this thing. So I didn't even know about this engagement party where she invited my dad and former stepmom, who did not know I was going to be getting married on this elopement.
No, the sister.
And then while we eloped in Vegas, and then she did this, and I found out about this party through my mom. She didn't invite my mom, and then my dad she didn't invite my mom by accident because my mom was coming to Vegas with me, and then my dad found out about it. My mom found out because my dad was like, "What's this party?" So I did know about it, but I didn't know is that she then sent an announcement that was like, while we were like in Vegas, like on like the Saturday after we got married, I get a call from my brother. He's like, I just got an announcement that says this party is actually a surprise wedding.
Surprise wedding.
Like wedding reception. And I just was like,
God, no.
oh, and she registered us?
No.
Whoa.
She had to go.
Eventually.
There's so many eventually. Yeah.
That's the thing also. It's like, because people want to control.
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
I wanted it to be quick and dirty and let me deal with my dad and stepmom later.
And you
Yeah.
gave me the
it
opposite
on my
became
own
the
terms,
worst.
and they
Yeah.
took it
On
away
your
from
own
you
terms.
entirely. Yeah.
Know that
Fuck.
your love, your choice.
Your love, your choice.
Your wedding experience should be something.
If you want to get married, also.
If you want to get married.
it's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
I might not,
I probably won't.
but I might. Depends on who I meet.
Wow. What a great episode.
We had a great episode here today.
And that was the kind of I don't think so, honey, from Shannon that really sparked something in me. Well, first of all, we need to have
what did it spark?
we need to have it. You and I need to have a discussion about the future of it. Of
I don't think so, honey.
well, we're gonna keep doing it, but like, don't we need something new to sort of like spice up the pod?
You always think this, and I always say no.
I am
He
so
always wants to make it more difficult.
Have people repeated things?
There have been a couple times
But
where
very
people have
rarely.
done, but
Yeah.
everyone has a different
Their
take.
own
That's
take.
what,
Yes.
that's what makes human beings so beautiful. They're all so different. Every human being is beautiful, and they all have a beautiful take.
and so
I wish you were just making a jerk off motion while you were doing that.
Every human
Now
being
you are. Thank
is
you.
gorgeous. I love what they say.
I think we can. There's a space for I don't think so need to coexist with other things that also
How
sort
dare
of.
you bring the listeners in on this?
You
This
mean
is
like
a
not
private
like not
conversation that
all
you and I
like
need to have in a boardroom.
Like not all specifically pop culture.
Or it just we have like these other like I don't think so needs this beautiful condensed unit of time to express rage at something. I feel like we can explore the full spectrum of human emotion.
So what? Like
Beyond a minute?
I do
Beyond
think so. honey.
no. So like we've done on our Patreon.
I don't think so, honey. Maybe,
Stop,
honey.
stop. We've done on our Patreon episodes.
I have complicated
feelings
about
about this.
That's fun.
Oh.
But I think it's just as fun and interesting and textured.
You can't have this discussion with me in front of the listeners. You have to go through channels.
Okay, we'll go through channels.
You have to go through my channels, which are also your channels.
Okay, fine.
I refuse to speak to you. We need to speak to our
But
management.
Shannon-
That's good though. I feel complicated about this.
We
Yeah.
do
That's
RuPaul's Drag Race recaps on our Patreon, and we say I have complicated feelings
about this. And it's for 1 minute. You talk about what your feelings are.
Oh, that's so hard for nuanced feelings.
I know.
A
I
minute?
never know what to say. Because I don't ever have complicated feelings. I always have a strong opinion, whether it's right or not. I'll be told later,
Okay, so
and you'll be the one to tell me.
absolutely. But that was the kind of I don't think so honey from Shannon that really just helped just reframe a lot of stuff. And I thank you for that, Shannon.
Sure.
What a
Happy
great
to help.
Thank you.
And Shannon is going to be on the other two.
The other two and high maintenance.
And I also remembered eventually Alternatino whenever that.
Alternatino.
fun.
Very fun.
Alternatino.
Arturo Castro.
Yeah,
What
I shot a sketch a couple weeks ago. And it was really
love
fun.
that.
I love that.
Very funny.
Yeah, he's a funny boy.
It's a really funny show.
Great. Brendan Fitzgibbons. Arturo, what a sweetheart. Love him so much. We should have him on.
Yes.
We really should, actually.
I loved this episode. I think we got into it.
We got into it.
Love it.
And now,
This was
we're
fun.
going to get out of it with a song.
Here
And
we
I
go.
want Bowen to perform the theme song to Zelda. Is that really how it goes?
That's Zelda's
what
theme.
would the words be?
That I remember that. That's like always been her theme.
It's always been her theme. It's when she is present. You don't really get to see her that much in all the games.
She
Honestly,
is here.
Zelda.
She has power. She could turn to someone else. That's the Sheik.
That's chic. That's only in Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Just remembering Zelda is a lady warrior
A lady warrior. She's a princess. And then
for such a long time.
Yeah.
And
Link
It's a
is
very-
out here taking the spotlight.
I know.
Link is in there.
Link is
You're
in well,
right. Link's the little green dude.
Yeah,
Link's the
fuck
green
him.
dude, but Zelda is like Zelda is keeping everything together. Like Zelda is literally saving the world from collapsing.
Link is twink nonsense.
Link is twink nonsense. A coin that I termed Angelican Booster's What the Tuck podcast.
And oh, really? I didn't listen to it yet.
We coined the term twink nonsense, and I said Ellen giving Kevin Hart an apology platform is twink nonsense.
Twink nonsense.
Hashtag Ellen is a twink.
Hashtag Ellen is a twink.
So that's
Ellen is like a twink top, though.
Ellen's an alpha. Ellen's an
'cause
alpha
you know-
twink.
Ellen is an alpha twink.
Yeah. 100%. And we
She's
love-
like that
and we
twink that like
celebrate
comes
that.
in and runs shit, and you're
We
like, whoa, that
s-
twink really fucking was commanding.
We celebrate that.
And Portia de Rossi is a bottom.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, yeah. Did Portia buy Ellen that that preserve with Portia money or Ellen money?
Let's.
Who knows?
It's okay either way, but
It's okay either way.
It's okay
okay
either
either
way. Let's
I just don't know what Portia's been up to.
Oh, I think probably being
She's
rich.
working on her writing.
Yeah, being rich.
Let's-
yeah.
Oh, she was on Scandal.
Yes.
Let's close.
That's right.
Let's close
She
out.
got murdered
Let's close out
Oh,
one more
no.
time with the lyrics that you
by a
just
baseball bat.
with the lyrics that you just did. Okay.
She is here. We're Jennifer Hudson.
She has powers.
She could turn into someone else.
Bye.
Zelda. Hey, little reminder, BetterHelp.com/ding dong. That's where you can go and put in a little promo code to get therapy online fast.
Now, BetterHelp makes it easy to connect with licensed professional counselors who are caring professionals who specialize in the issues that you want to talk about.
We're talking about depression, stress and anxiety, trauma, grief, self-esteem, and other issues that we're all kind of dealing with that, you know, we want to reach out and get some help for. And you can connect with your counselor in a safe and private environment using BetterHelp.com/ding
dong.
Of course, yes, /ding dong.
Of course.
If you want to use, you know, our promo code and get 10% off, you would use the promo code ding dong.
dong.
We
So-
just wanted to hop in here in the middle of the episode and say that.
And just say that. So schedule secure video and phone sessions or text your therapist, all included worldwide, and you can start communicating in under 24 hours.
Yeah, and maybe you can even marry your therapist.
Okay, we've been through this. You can't do that.
It's not appropriate to marry a therapist.
It's unethical.
What if they're hot? Should I get another one?
Yeah.
Okay. BetterHelp.com/ding dong.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news.